Yo, peace, everybody. Quick update before the episode starts. So, I'm sure a lot of you have heard that the bank was trying to repo Charlie's RV. That's his home. That's where he lives. That is someone who has done a lot for us, for our community, and for our scene. So, once we heard about this, we tried to step in and raise some money to stop that from going down. And we were actually able to. So, with the help of everybody who signed up, we raised all the money we needed, donated it all to him, and now he used that to pay back the bank. They're not going to repo his RV anymore, and he's not going to get his home taken, and his problems with that are completely done. And that's thanks to everybody who signed up. So we really can't thank you enough. It's honestly crazy. For the month of July, we're going to be helping out someone else. It's someone else within our community that I'm sure many of you have heard of, and details of that will be announced in a few days. It's really sick to be able to use this platform to give back and help out people in our community within our scene who otherwise wouldn't find help nowhere. So without everybody who signed up, that wouldn't have been possible. Thank you so much. Details on July's campaign are going to be announced in a few days. And right now, Les and Lot 29 full episodes are up on our Patreon. And we're going to be uploading some more within a few days as well. So once again, thank you everybody so much, and enjoy the episode. Peace. All right, we're live.
Yo,
Samva.
Samva in the house. Yo, thank you for coming
Is
out.
it pronounced Samva or Samva?
Samva.
Right.
It's cool.
Sick. Where are you from?
Indonesia. I grew up in Indonesia, in Bali. I came to New York like 2010. I've been here since.
Oh, sick. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
2010. So you grew up the majority of your life, though, at least like the formative years in Indonesia.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
How was that?
It was nice, man. It's like completely different from what like a childhood in America would be, you know, like I grew up in the village, dude. Like it's like third world out there.
Yeah.
Like the road to my house was dirt for the first like 10 years.
Really?
You know, no playgrounds, no skyscrapers. Like
Is there? I mean, I'm assuming you said is that that's a third world country?
oh yeah.
So you can't drink the tap water. You have to.
No, dude, no way.
Yeah, you just have to boil it. It's like in Ecuador.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to boil it.
Yeah, or just get like, you know, the big water gallons.
Yeah.
How's the government out there? Is it like corrupt right now?
I mean, sure. I feel like most third world countries are corrupt in one way or another. I mean, as far as like cops go, like you can pay off a cop if you get caught for anything.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to pay off a cop for like traffic violation or whatever.
So when you were growing up, how did your house look like? Because you said you lived in a village, and you know, I go to Ecuador every year to visit my family, and I've been in those villages, and those straight up, there'll be the houses made of like thin pieces of wood. I don't know if they have the same thing in Indonesia and shit, but how was your house growing up?
Dude, I mean, for sure, man. Like the walls of my house were like these. It's like if you made a woven like wall of bamboo, almost. You know, like we never needed any air conditioning because like air can just go through it. It's not like an actually a solid wall.
Yeah.
You know?
You just deal with whatever temperature is occurring outside and call it.
I mean, it's like summer all
all the
year,
time.
dude. It's like by the equator. They use like Celsius over there or whatever, but like Fahrenheit wise, it would never really like go under 65 or 60. And the hottest it'd be would like 90s, you know, so.
And a lot of those houses are made so that it naturally stays cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is really sick because here it does not naturally stay cool whatsoever, and you need
like controlled man-made like, technologies.
some crazy air conditioner to make it feel good.
Yeah, and in the winter you gotta blast your heat, dude. It gets dry as fuck inside.
Yeah.
Like,
So why did you move to New York? Wait, did you start writing graffiti in Indonesia?
Yeah.
There's like a scene and everything.
Well, when I was growing up,
You hit up the bamboo.
when I was growing up, like there was a scene, but like I guess I didn't really get to navigate that scene because when I was there, I was a little younger and I kind of like stuck around my neighborhood. And in my neighborhood, there was like nothing, dude. There's this like one alleyway that used to have like scribbles on it, like people just writing their names and stuff, but not in spray paint, in like chalk or whatever. But since then, maybe like for the last 10 years, maybe the scene over there has grown like exponentially, man. Like there used to be no graph store over there, so you were just going to like the hardware store or like some like car shop and buying like car paint or fucking shitty paint, dude. Yeah, but now there's a graffiti shop. You can buy your fancy paint. You can buy your caps and stuff.
That's actually really sick that they have a graph shop over there.
People hang out and stuff.
What kind of styles do they like favor out there? Is it more like throwies, tags? Does it have its own distinct like aesthetic, like the graffiti?
Sure. Like over there, when I was growing up, I just see a bunch of pieces everywhere because it's like kind of chill to paint there.
Are they good?
Yeah, good pieces. I mean, who's judging?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I'd usually mostly see pieces like bubble letters sometimes, not so much. Some tags, but yeah, mostly just like pieces, burners.
What were some of the writers that you'd see out there? Because I straight up don't know any Indonesian writers, and I'd like to know the people who you saw coming up that were like, yo, I want to start writing because I just saw this dude.
The JAs of Indonesia.
Yeah, the JAs of Indonesia.
Well, damn, dude. Indonesia's so big, dude. Indonesia's like fucking 17,000 islands. But, like, Bali's just one of them. You know? And in Bali, like, when I was growing up, I saw... There's, like, this guy, Sin. There's this guy, Cube. But... the one who really, like, stuck out to me, dude, was, like, this dude who wrote Blazed 420. You know? I just thought it was funny, and, like, I was at that age where I was, like, smoking pot, you know? Like, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Who's writing Blazed 420 everywhere? And, like, he had a pretty sick hand style. And it just, like, kind of intrigued me, you know? Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Was Samva your first name? Is that what you started writing?
No. I've shuffled through like a couple of names. You know, I've only been writing Samva since like 2018.
Oh shit, for real?
Maybe. Yeah.
So when you moved here, you wrote a different name for the first 8 years?
Yeah, dude, but I wasn't like, I wouldn't even call myself active, dude. Like when I first moved here, I came to the Bronx. And I was living in the Bronx for a couple of years, and I had a name over there. I had like a couple of beefs over there. But I was just in the neighborhood, you know. Like I didn't come out and write downtown. I didn't do any of that. I was just in my neighborhood.
So why did you move to New York?
It was really just like a chance thing, dude. Like the opportunity came up, and it was either I take this chance and I move, or who knows when the next chance would come up. I had been to New York previous to that, like a couple of years before. I like came to New York for like a little visit, you know, like a 2-week thing. But yeah, dude, I fucking came here. It put me up for like the first 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So your family had already, some part of your family had already been living here?
Yeah, I have.
Sick. And then you just moved in with...
Yep.
And then you really liked it, or?
Yeah, dude, it was weird because like it was kind of like for school or whatever. You know, they were like, yo, finish school here, we'll put you up at our crib for the first 2 years, and then you can figure out if you want to do like college or whatever.
Oh, so it was for high school.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's crazy. You don't think of people traveling to finish high school somewhere. That's usually like a college thing. Like, oh yeah, I go to, I don't know, California 4 years for college and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it like made it easier too, cause like you fucking have to take the SAT. You gotta take a bunch. You know what I mean? you just like the school system over in Indonesia is so like completely fucking different.
What's it like?
I mean, like, I can't apply to college in America with like an Indonesian fucking diploma.
So what do you have to do? You have to take like a different entry exam or a standardized test, I assume.
Yeah, yeah. Like, New York has their fucking regents,
Yeah.
SAT, all this shit, dude. Over there, they have their own set of stuff.
So when you got here, was it like a culture shock of like, fucking car here, bike here, graffiti's everywhere, and like?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. It was like surreal, man. I mean, just knowing that I was gonna be in the biggest city in the world. It's like, dude, if you're not living in New York, you want to come to New York. You know what I mean? And it's sick, dude. For like the first year, cause it's still kind of like make believe. You're like, whoa, dude, I'm in fucking New York. But then you live here for a couple of years and you realize like how much of a pain it can be too.
Yeah, I've noticed that when like you go to different countries, especially like kind of in the cut places, and you tell them that you're from New York, they just bug out. Like I have relatives in Germany, in like a small town in kind of southern Germany.
Yeah.
And one time I was painting this Lego like skate park wall thing, and I'm just hitting it up, and like some dude. So there was like this crew in that town, ASB crew, super crazy like styles. Like their spots are insane. Like they're the top crew. And I was painting, and this dude walks up to me, and he asks me in German something. And I'm like, oh, no, like, I speak English, And he's like, oh, you're a Englander, because, like, there, if you speak English, you're from England, because that's, like, the closest thing where they speak English. And I'm like, no, I'm from America. He's like, oh, American. And as soon as I said American, his eyes lit up, and he's like, where in America? Bro, as soon as I said New York, like, a half hour later, I meet the ASB crew, and I'm like chilling and drinking beers with them, like hitting books. And I'm like, yo, this is fucking nuts.
Is that how you painted
That's
the trains
awesome,
with?
dude.
Yeah, we fucking ended up painting trains and shit. Yeah, like the same day, I think. Like that shit was
sick. That's so
I'm,
sick.
like Windexing cans, like an hour later, like putting on like fucking like
the whole European shit.
yo,
Yeah.
like it's some like thorn bushes, like creeping with ASB crew. I'm like, yo, this is bro. That was like Nirvana. That shit was insane. But yeah.
So when you moved here, were you afraid to write graph at first? Because I've heard some stories of people moving here and they're like, fuck that, I'm not doing that for a while.
Absolutely, dude. I was fucking shook.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, you hear all the stories about people getting in trouble, getting beat up by cops, going to bookings,
Vandal squad.
going to jail, vandal squad.
That's like
dude.
a almost uniquely New York thing. Is
Yeah.
like more than just the physical vandal squad. I feel like the idea of like this force that is out just for this, and they straight up walk in plain clothes sometimes. Oh, and they have like headquarters here, and they post up near the graph shop, and it's like, if you hear about this and you're from somewhere else, you might be like, yeah, I'm gonna go there, and they're gonna pop out of a trash can when I'm hitting up.
Dude, for sure. Like, it's just a trip to think about, like, how seriously they fucking go for graph writers here. Like, I feel like I mean, in Bali, dude, in Indonesia, like, cops, I mean, now they kind of care, but, like, 10 years ago, like, they didn't even know about graffiti.
You could paint broad day and stuff.
Yeah, you could paint broad day. I mean, like, I've seen, like, a bunch of, like, foreign writers come there. It's kind of been, like, it's grown into some type of, like, graph destination place the last couple of years. And it's, like, sick, dude. You got all these foreign writers coming down into town to write. But at the same time, for, like, the locals, it's like, damn, dude, like, my town's just getting smashed by these, you know what I mean? By all these foreigners.
Mm-hmm. When you say the locals, you mean the local writers or just the inhabitants of the...
Local kids, local writers, whatever. Because there is, like, a fucking bias, dude, you know? When, like, a tourist from Germany or Australia or whatever comes into the local village and talks to the dude like, yo, I'm from Germany. Like, let me paint your wall.
Mm-hmm.
The locals are going to be like, oh, my God, like, yeah, please paint my wall.
It's a
like,
German piece.
Yeah, whatever,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
But if some local kid just, like, walked down the street to some other local guy's house and was like, yo, can I paint your wall?
Yeah.
They'd be like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So that bias kind of, like, sucks for the local graph kids. But I mean, they're still getting it.
So what made you just officially get past the shookness and start writing in New York?
I like when I was living with, I didn't want to get in trouble and have them to like fucking bail me out or any of that kind of stuff, you know. And when I was going to school and shit, I didn't want to have like Graf interfere with any of that too. So when all that was done, when I wasn't living with, when I wasn't doing school anymore, I was like, all right, now I have like time to do like my own thing, you know. And if I get in trouble for it, like whatever, I'll deal with it. Like I don't have to report to anybody, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of that scene in that movie Wild Style where Zorro like climbs in through the window and his like military cousin that he lives with like points the gun at him. He's like, "Yo, I would have shot your ass." Man. Like, he just came back from like hitting the train yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, I went into straight up probably it might have even been 11 years ago. I went into scrapyard and I got a mop, and I'm like however years old, and the dude put the shookness in my fucking heart, man. Like I was already shook out as it was, you know,
Yeah,
and
it's-
like hit up in front of people, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. And I go in there and I buy a mop with like two of my friends that were also my age, and the dude's like, "Be careful," and then we're like, "Okay," and then he's like, "You think phone booths?" Like he just started going off. He's like, "You think phone booths are safe?" And I was like, and he's like, "Phone booths aren't safe. 12 out of 10 get arrested." And then we were like, okay. And then, and I've never forget that conversation. He was like, 12 out of 10 get arrested. And I was like, damn. And I just started reminiscing on like all the phone booths I've seen hit up with etch that has like slightly faded or even just markers. And the one outside of Scrapyard is dumped on. And then
Yeah.
he's like, and then he was like, don't use this for 5 hours. He was like, don't use this for 5 hours after you leave here. And me and my friends were like, all right. And he's like, as we're walking out, he's like, 5-hour rule. And then like we're closing the door. We look back on him and he's like, 5-hour energy. Like it didn't even make sense. He was like, 5-hour rule, 5-hour energy. And just like the fucking little door slams. And I'm like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah,
Like I put
I
the
don't
shit
even
in
want
my,
this shit.
yeah, I put the shit in my pocket and I'm like, yo, like what is, like I start looking around and I'm like 11 years old or whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, that dude's probably a boy right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a crackhead walking down the street, like looking for cops.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big
Yeah.
part of graffiti is like making these little like mentally mentally fabricated situations that might not even really be happening. Like you know, in like the Earsnot video when he's like, yeah, they just were buying a taxi cab, like they think they're so slick. Like in that exact moment, like he said that shit. I see a taxi and I just like, you know, I think of that and I'm like, holy, like
That could be
dude,
them, yeah.
taxi cab, dude, like they're everywhere, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't think, like, I think that New York definitely has a lot of cops. I mean, it definitely has a lot of cops compared to other cities.
Yeah.
Like if you're painting downtown or midtown or anywhere in the city,
Yeah.
dude, like give it like what, at most like 10 minutes and a cop's gonna drive by you, and on like a crazy, like on like a Friday or Saturday night, it's gonna be, dude, they're gonna drive by all the time. Whereas in other cities, like you do not have that guarantee of like a boy is gonna drive by you.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, the like the presence of police in New York is insane, dude. Like, this story doesn't really have anything to do with police, but like, I was in the woods one time in the Bronx, by like the Metro North train tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like after high school, you know, just fucking around. I had a couple cans, and I'm waiting for this train to come by, and it's like going so slowly, like weirdly slow, you know. I'm sitting behind this tree, like, all right, train, fucking come on, like pass by so I can cross. The conductor sticks his head out the train, dude, and he's like looking at me. He's like, "Yo, kid, get out of here! Like the cops are coming." And dude, like I didn't even start, like I didn't whip my cans out or anything. I was just sitting there, and I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? Like really? Like somebody called the cops on me or something?" Anyway, I fucking run out the woods. I lose my cell phone,
Oh my God.
right? And nothing happens, dude. But like the next day, I read the neighborhood paper, the neighborhood press or whatever. They found a dead body in the
What?
river across the train tracks. So I guess somebody called it in. I don't know, dude. But I was tripping because I fucking lost my phone running out the
Yeah, yeah.
Bro,
woods.
you're lucky that didn't go further where they thought it was you.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
Bro.
I don't know. It's just weird, dude.
But dude, there is a lot of cops in New York, and like, it's weird because day to day walking around, as long as you're not in like the really bad parts of New York, it's kind of chill. Like you're like, why is there why is there the need for this many cops? As if there's like the highest violent crime rate, which there isn't.
Yeah.
In compared to other cities, like this is one of the safer cities in the world. You know, like statistically, I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty bugged out. But something I just thought of because you said you lost your cell phone, dude. So this one time there's like this tunnel that I was gonna do like an extinguisher filling in, because this was also super long ago, and I had just watched like an extinguisher fill-in video on YouTube, and I'm like, I think I'll do that too. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's like such a good idea. Like, well, you're gonna film it like and everything, you know, like on some like fucking like 13 12-year-old dreams type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we go into the tunnel, and I have like a bike pump and like whatever, and like I start filling it, like I open it, fill it with water, fill it with paint, whatever. And the tunnel, like it was daytime, and like but it was in a tunnel, so I'm like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
And like a cop drives by on the street, but like far away. And my friend was like, yo, a cop. But my friend's like kind of a paranoid dude, so he's like, yo, a cop. And I'm like, dude, like, you really think that as he drove by, he was looking in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he's like, dude, there was a cop. Like, he was looking in. I'm like, nah, because that kid's always kind of like paranoid. So, and then my dude was like, yo, another cop just drove by, and I'm like pumping this thing, and I'm like, bro, chill out. And legit, he's like, look. I look over, and they back up, and they're looking. Long story short, I assume they think we're making like a bomb or something in the tunnel, because they see some metal object and some
Like,
pumping going down.
Like TNT
Yeah,
fucking-
like 4 dudes in there. There was a duffel bag, because that's where we had like the buckets and like the water gallons and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And like, I mean, that's what we carried the thing in. Dude, they close off all of the streets. Like, I'm talking like yellow tape close off, or like a car like parked in the middle. Dude, we hide. But as we're running away, like in the opposite direction of the tunnel where the cops were at, they're on this side, and we were on the opposite way. I realized like I forgot my phone on the floor or something like that, and it's like an iPhone, and it's black, and
Yeah.
all the pebbles were on the floor, and they're black too. And I'm like, holy shit, son. And I see the boys coming in the tunnel. So I turn around, and I start running towards them as fast as I can. Like on some like when you're playing dodgeball, all of them in the middle, you run, and you know that if that fool grabs the ball before you, like you're gonna get
Yeah.
So, but he didn't know I was running for a cell phone.
Yeah.
So luckily I didn't drop it too close to them, and I grabbed it and dipped, and like whatever. But that just reminded me, because like, dude, losing your cell phone if you're out doing some stuff like that.
Yeah, dude.
No.
I don't
You
know.
don't want the cops to find your cell
Yeah.
phone and go through it,
super
dude.
paranoid, finding all the pictures. Like, it's over. I gotta move to
Yeah.
fucking
You
a different
know.
country.
When you go out painting, do you bring your wallet with you?
No.
Because you know
Not
that
usually.
if you do get in trouble about anything, you don't have a wallet, it's like guaranteed.
They're gonna take you in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even if they just search you and they for some reason aren't gonna take you in, but then you don't have an ID, that's when they'll take you in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know how I feel about that, the whole wallet thing.
No, I don't fucking carry my wallet, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I do carry a wallet, just I don't have an ID.
Yeah.
Like,
What has been your experience with the law in New York?
like as far as graph,
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple of trespassing tickets,
Mm-hmm.
but like,
Never been bagged?
that's about it. Nah.
Shit. Because you do some pretty, like, the spots you do and, like, the style you do, it seems like you chill at these spots for a while, It doesn't seem like in and out, really. So, you haven't had no, like, close calls, really?
No, dude. I've been like pretty lucky, I guess.
How are you when you plan these spots out? Like, is it, like, a mission, or you do, like, 2 a night, or, like, it's, like, more strategic, you would say?
I like to plan out my painting for sure. And like I'm definitely like a two spot a night kind of guy. You know, I'm not gonna like try and stretch my luck and do like 30 fill-ins. Like some kids in New York do that shit and they get away with it. You know, uh,
Some kid,
I
dude. There are people. Sorry to interrupt you. That like, if you don't do that, then you're soft and you're whack.
It
And
was a
like,
whack night. Yeah.
yeah, it's a whack night. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, dude. For everybody's got different
Yeah.
standards, man. Like, and a bunch of people like drive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll fucking hit all the boroughs in one night because they got a car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my bike, dude.
Sick.
Like, you know, if the spot's deep, I'll hit it and fucking get a beer and go home. You know, like I got shit to do in the morning.
Yeah. So you do 1-2 spots a night.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you working right now?
If I had it planned out, yeah, I'm working right now.
Sick. What do you do?
I'm
Oh, sick,
at,
man. That's really dope.
doing like a bunch of for
Sick.
people.
Do you do your own
Pro-
stuff?
Production stuff. No, I don't do my own stuff.
You ever thought about it?
For sure, dude. But it's on the back burner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not like a priority.
How long you been doing
right
that
now.
for?
The last 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing like. Yeah.
So when you graduated from high school, you didn't end up going to college or anything like that?
I did.
Oh, sick. What'd you go for?
Uh,
Oh, word.
yeah.
Dude, that's a major? Or it was like art school and they show you.
Oh, yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
dope, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel pretty lucky to be working in the field of study I did. You know what I mean? Like a bunch of people go to school for whatever they go to school for, dude, and end up like being a barista, and
Mhm.
it's like. You know, you went to school to learn one thing, and now you're doing like the opposite. So, like in that regard, I feel pretty lucky.
Yeah. No, I think working with your hands in terms of like creating something is more secure in a way. Because I feel the same with my job. Because like I'm in an apprenticeship as a plumber, and I look at people that went to like college, for example, and like when they get out, they have a degree, and it's hard for them to get a job, you know. But with my apprenticeship, they pay me as I go to school, and it's like more of a secure thing. So like if anyone's looking for like a more secure thing, I would suggest like something in
Learn a
terms of,
fucking trade.
Like a trade job.
trade
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dude. I absolutely agree, 100%, man. Cause what is the undergraduate? It doesn't really do much now.
Not anymore. Yeah. Every it's so common. It's so common, and I feel like a big problem is that it's like a thing. I mean, you went to high school partly in New York, so it's like, you know, it's like if you're in that class and you're not the kid who's gonna like signing up for the SATs and starting his applications, and you're the odd one out. You know, you're gonna. It's immediately like assumed in that class like you are going to be that dude who blows it in life.
Yeah, it's like, what's this dude gonna
Exactly.
do? He's not taking these tests.
Yep. So then it's like you end up choosing in like you end up making like a hasty decision essentially because you're mad
Sure.
young. You don't know what you like.
For sure.
And the thing is like you feel like you should because everyone else does, but they really don't either.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel like for the most part, everybody does it because they don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
And I feel like as a kid, you expect it to be almost handed to you on a silver plate. Like you would think like, oh, as long as I get through college, like I'm good, like
Yep.
secure job,
Yeah.
you know, like
I'm good.
that's
I'm like
just-
I'm gonna make like I'm good. I'm set.
that's just
No,
a
you're
part of
not
it.
set. You're
Yeah.
really not. Honestly, like I went to college essentially forcefully because like just like I went forcefully and I ended up choosing a major that like I really didn't care about, and it was just like in terms of if it led to a career, just a total waste of my time. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future and stuff like that, but I would honestly like if I could go back and do things differently, or scratch that, if I could like if I had someone who I was guiding through life and they were confused and they're like, yeah, like I don't want to be like a loser, you know what I mean? I want to go to college, like I don't want to be a loser. Like if they're saying that shit, I'm not opposed to college, but I'm definitely opposed to making a hasty decision that's going to cost a lot of money and for whole years when you're unsure of it. You know, that's like
Yeah.
not, especially at such a young age, it's not a very good decision. Like usually I feel like parents don't give kids the choice of like at least like my parents or like if you're from like foreign parents, like the kids don't have the choice of like this, or they don't have the choice of that.
Asian parents.
Yeah, like
Yeah, for sure.
they don't have they don't have the choice of like this, that, or the third. But when it comes to like maybe choosing a major, you give them the choice to do that. That's gonna like once you start that first year, like the second year's courses depend on the first year's. So if you did the first year and you decided never mind,
you're knee deep already.
You're knee deep already, and that like, makes you at that age be like, yo, I'm already knee deep. I'm just go through with it, because the rest, like, I don't even know if I really like it either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened with me. I'm like, you know, I'm not like bummed on it, but I'm definitely like, when I think it through, I don't think that was the best course of action that I could have taken. And I hope that, like, you know, I know there's a lot of graph kids who are listening to this right now, and I know a lot of them are probably younger, and eventually gonna have to pass through this phase. And you know, like, I think that parents do want the best for you. Like, you have a kid. Like, I can't imagine the feeling of like having your own child, and you don't want them to, like, you want to give them every opportunity. So in your mind as a parent, it's like, with a degree or without a degree, clearly they'll be better off with a degree. So why not push them? Because if they're young, they're not going to want to do nothing but write graffiti and skateboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that there's like there should be some middle ground. You can push your kid into spending like, especially if like you as the parent aren't paying, and like the kid is accumulating debt. Yo, I have homies who accumulated mad debt, yo, and like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, dude, the whole college or no college talk is like, everybody's got a choice, you know. If you make the most out of it, something good's gonna happen. Like, if you network right at school, you'll know someone successful who could maybe hook it up for you. But if you're just like smoking blunts and drinking 40s out of high school, and you go to college and you expect to do good,
no, it's
like,
not gonna, like,
you're gonna waste your time and money.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly what happened to me. Because what we're talking about, like an immigrant mother, like, she wanted the best for her kid, obviously, like, to be successful, and like in their eyes, success is college. You know, like that's 100% that's college. Like, college is part of success. At least it's like a huge stepping stone.
Like being a scholar.
Yeah,
it'll
not being
open
like
up doors to opportunity.
Not being like a lowly whatever. You know what I mean? That's the mindset.
So like at the end of high school, I was over like academia. Like, I was just like, I don't want to sit in a desk anymore. I don't want to deal with these tests, exams, essays. Like, I've done enough of this. Like for 12 years. So like fucking I go to college, and I get in for free for a financial program, and this is like, it's horrible because like I should use it, you know, like I'm not gonna pay for it. And I end up meeting this kid. He was dorming there from Cuba. It was Cuba, yeah. And he just smoked so much weed. Sebastian, mad cool kid. He was like a loner, mad cool. And essentially like essentially like just smoked mad weed. I hope my mom never listens to this, but fuck. What's it called?
Hey, so you smoke mad weed?
Yeah, and I just ended up like dropping out of college pretty much because I would never go to class after that.
Yeah.
And I had to pay mad money back for all the textbooks and shit that they gave me for free.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
and after that, I was like lost because my mom, she would cry for months. She was like, yo, you got to do something with your life. Like, you need some type of career.
For sure.
And yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, yeah, dude. You got to make the most of whatever you do, and if you decide you don't like it, find something else to do.
Dude, I think that high school, I was talking about it with like my homie who's like a teacher. I think that high school is sick because I think that not like how it actually goes down, but the thought of like free public education where they'll get like, even if the teacher blows, if they give you this like history textbook. So even if the teacher blows, you have this, so you can read it through however much you want and learn mad shit. And at the end of the day, like, knowledge, it is power. It does set you free, and it does like give you a better understanding of the world and whatever. And it's free, dude. Like, it's free. So I think that that's really dope that we have that. And like, I was thinking about like Indonesia and stuff, and how you said their school system is so different. How is it different from like, for example, the high school system? How is it different from what you experienced in America?
It's just a different curriculum, you know. But like, I did like K through 6 at like a local school, and Dude, that like experience was just like it was such a good experience growing up to like go to school with all the local kids. You know what I mean? I was like the only half white kid in my neighborhood. I stuck out like a fucking sore thumb, dude.
They made fun of you?
I was just, dude, I was the only kid in my fucking village with a white mom.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So even if people didn't know me, they knew me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But as far as like the school goes, dude, like they go like Monday to Saturday. You only get one day off. And the teachers will discipline you, dude. Like you don't talk back. You say what they do. Like the teachers carry around like these meter-long wooden fucking rulers, and they'll like
They'll teach you.
They'll fucking
Yeah.
teach you, dude. They'll fucking whack you.
Yeah.
You know, and
And it's just totally accepted and valid.
it's valid, bro.
Yeah.
It's like so valid. So when I came to the Bronx, I was sitting at a desk full of like crazy ass kids
Yeah.
cursing at the teachers and shit. It was just like, whoa, dude. Like these kids,
Where's the stick?
these kids like don't respect
Yeah.
their fucking elder or like the teacher.
Yeah.
And
Essentially, there is nothing that the teacher can do if the group of kids is over it. If they really decide I don't respect you, what can they do? What are they going to do? Smoke a bunch of little kids? Especially if it's a bunch of them.
dude, there's
Like, for example, if those kids that you went to high school with in America were to go to Indonesia and treat the teachers the same way, what do you think would happen?
bro, the kids would go home with bruises, dude.
Like, facts.
Like for sure. I've had some friends that were like bad kids at school or whatever, and the teachers just serve them, dude, in front of everybody. And
They hit him in
it's-
the face or not?
Dude, a friend of mine, dude, in fourth grade math class, maybe, right? And like, the teacher was like, yo, come up here and do this math question at the chalkboard. And this kid didn't do his homework. He's standing in front of the chalkboard, dude, for like 5 minutes, just being embarrassed
Yeah.
by the teacher. You know, the teacher's like talking shit, like, oh, you didn't do your homework? Like, so now you can't do this? Teacher fucking hits him in the back of the head. His forehead hits the chalkboard. He's got white shit all over his face. And the teacher's like, sit down. My friend fucking sits down and starts crying, dude. I mean, you like,
Yeah, it's
we're
totally
like
different.
fucking 10 years old, you know?
That's
a lot.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, if you got hit hard enough that your head like ricocheted off the chalkboard, that's pretty gnarly.
You're gonna remember to do your fucking homework tomorrow. You know what I mean?
You
And
get
you're
sunned
gonna
in front of
fucking
them.
know the answer when the teacher's like, yo, come up here and fucking do this.
But you don't think that, for example, you just take the kids from the Bronx, and let's say like, I don't know, you don't think they would fight back?
No, they would.
Yeah.
Double leg take
That's
down the
what I'm-
teacher,
That's what I'm
dude.
saying. Yeah.
They would. I mean, it's
Because it's the culture is so ingrained of like, you know, you're
No
just
matter
taking two
what,
different
yeah.
cultures and mixing them. It's gonna be bugged out.
It's yeah, it would be weird, dude.
Especially in
It
front of
would
their
be
friends, like nah.
Oh
they-
nah, you
they'd
got
rather, like,
slapped
die,
in front of the
yeah.
teacher? No.
weird. Yeah. No, yeah. I feel like just in Asian culture, there's so much emphasis on like respect for elders. You know, like if an older person tells you to not do that, you shouldn't do it.
So were you like how was it when you came here and you started seeing all this stuff? I'm assuming you would take the train or something to school, and it's just probably so different from like village getting slapped upside the head for not knowing the
Yeah.
answer.
Like, what did you think? What was your conception of America before? Like for example, on the
Yeah.
plane. Like, what did you even think of this place? Like, what image?
First
was
time you
in-
came here?
Yeah. What was the image in your mind?
Dude, I mean, like anything you see in the movies, right? You watch movies of like, or like American movies or whatever, and you try to imagine this idea of what it's gonna be. It was just like so big, so full of opportunity. I mean, I also got kind of tired of living in the village, dude. The opportunity just came up, so I had to take it. You know, like I knew everybody in my village. I knew everybody in the village next door. I don't know. It got to the point where I felt like, or I was willing to like start over. You know, like I came here, I didn't have any friends, dude. I had like a couple cousins.
So you came here, you didn't know anyone besides your cousins.
Yeah.
Or the language.
I spoke a little bit of English. Like when I was going to local school, after that, I was getting like homeschooled in English too, dude. So like, it was like fucking double school growing up.
Yeah, dude. I can't imagine like coming to, dude. My mom when she came to America, in Ecuador, they thought like, their conception of America was like house with a nice green with like a nice like grass
For everyone.
and then they have like the yellow, she tells me like the yellow school bus and like pretty buff white dude with like a varsity jacket on, like that's what she thought of, like suburban, like, you know, kind of thing like that. And like she gets here and we used to live in Jackson Heights, right pretty much under the 7.
Yeah.
And like that's what she saw, and it looked like hell to her, because it's not like you know, some people have this conception of New York of like, oh, like city, like under the train, this is cool.
Yeah.
Jackson Heights, Queens, like this is like the Hispanic neighborhood, like this is poppin', whatever, like urban. Whereas like when you're straight up from a third world country and you don't care about none of that, you just want like a nice peaceful thing.
Yeah.
And the train, and it's like people stacked on top of each other, fucking metal store gates, people hustling out of carriages, frying food right there for the sake
Dude,
of, you know, it's kind of a lot, man.
Dude, it is a lot. And like, dude, a bunch of high schools in the Bronx have fucking metal detectors. Like, you walk into school, you gotta walk through a fucking metal detector, dude. I was lucky my high school wasn't like that. Not too much crazy shit went down there, but like, I've like had to go visit like the school next door, or like other schools for like sports or whatever, and they fucking take your shit away, dude. Like I had some shit for math class, like a protractor thing to make like circles or whatever. I went through the metal detector. The guy fucking confiscated my shit.
It has like
You
a
might
fucking
poke someone
little
with it.
needle.
I thought
in
I
it.
was gonna stab someone. You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy.
Yeah.
It was just like crazy.
And the thought that puts in your head is like a ripe young boy.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like growing up in New York, you're just exposed to more like negative stuff at an early age compared to growing up in Asia, or just from my experience, at least. Cause I mean, nobody was really fucking smoking weed in my neighborhood in Bali, you know. I fucking leave the lunchroom, everybody's fucking smoking weed across the street.
Bro, it's crazy. It gets it got progressively, like the kids got younger that do this shit too. Cause I remember when I was when I was a freshman in high school, only like the seniors and like maybe a grade under were like really into drugs, like smoking, and like you would look at them from across the street at the corner, like damn, like those kids are fucking cool.
Yeah,
But
they're killing it.
Bro, as soon, like when I was a senior in high school, bro, like little girls like losing their virginity, like people are doing cocaine, like these kids, like, and I'm looking at my little nieces now, they're like 14, 18, you know, and like you said, they get exposed to a lot of negativity. I think a lot of it has to do with like also like social media and shit, because you're accessible to these videos that are like, you know, like maybe they're not watching people dying every day, but like it's maybe like sexualizing, like.
Yeah, what do you think it is? Why do you think it's because we've become as a society maybe more like open to different ideas that now that this is happening, or do you think it's because America's mainly made up of immigrants, you come here with these like pretty strict hard line set of values, and with each generation that stays here it gets watered down naturally, you know, not on some like it just happens naturally. And now it's to the point where like, dude, like my grandfather was like pretty hard line straight path,
Yeah.
and my father who grew up in Ecuador as well, and I'm so much different than them that it's like almost like it sometimes like makes me sad to think about like I don't know how to explain it. Like that's on some like bringing shame like to the family. Like if your ancestors could fucking see you now, like,
Yeah.
dude, like,
Yeah.
it's just it's crazy. And for example, if I have like a kid, like how much more watered down is it gonna get? You know, like how accepting. I don't know. Like, why do you think it's become this way where like the youth of America be getting poisoned, bro?
I just feel like it's just easy access to everything, dude. Like, I feel like kids get a cell phone now when they're super young, and with the cell phone, they can look up anything they want, look up how to get it, and, you know, they press a couple buttons and they can watch, like, whatever the fuck they want, dude. Like,
And get influenced by these things.
and get influenced by it, dude. Like when I was growing up, I had to fucking beg my mom to buy a CD that had parental advisory on it. You know what I mean? I wasn't listening to mad crazy lyrics.
Dude,
like you know what I mean? The shit you can just pull up on YouTube now, dude. Like these music videos are insane.
Yeah.
It's like basically porn.
No, yeah.
Like like girls watching this shit, like young girls, dude, it's influencing them for sure.
Bro, and the mainstream music, like Nicki
TikTok
Minaj and shit. The lyrics are ridiculous, bro. Like,
yeah, dude,
it's ridiculous. It's
dude,
insane.
in other countries that would be so illegal, and the government would shoot you in the head. This is a fact.
Oh, that's what needs to be done to these fucking these mainstream artists, bro. Mumble rap, like, bro, this is brain dead. We're turning into like, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie called Idiocracy. It's where like, bro, it's where pretty much the world just turns into a bunch of idiots. Like they water their plants with Mountain Dew. Like the president is like Terry Crews. Like it's just like a bunch of it's insane. And I think a big thing about it, why kids are can't even speak about this shit. I think parents don't even have the time, bro, to raise their kids. Like these kids aren't
You're in the
being raised
grind, you know what I
by
mean?
the parents, because parents come home from their jobs, they're super tired, like they don't have time to have like a genuine Budo conversation with their little kid about like the meaning of life and like what they should or not be doing. They're just like, oh, you want macaroni or some shit, and like this
look at this cell phone
every day, and like, and it starts at a super young age. Like little 2-month-old babies are given like tablets now, and like just
it is kind of crazy to
just
see
so they don't cry. They're like, here, watch this shit. But like, yo, if you really sit down, I know this is me and my like crazy psychedelic mind, but like I just watch sometimes when my niece watches. She's like 3 years old also. Yo, I mean not also, but like I have a few nieces and one of them is 3 years old. And yo, if you really break down these cartoons, they're kind of weird, like bugged out. Like the shit they are in, like what they watch is like they follow that, and it like doesn't seem like really the right way of life in a way,
dude. For sure, it's like so much influence with like this device, dude.
I wonder what's gonna happen as time goes on, and it's only gonna get crazier, the amount of information that you can take in. I mean, like, you know, Elon Musk is trying to do like Neuralink to like even close in the gap between us and technology and stuff like that. And like I was thinking about how you said like it's because of the cell phones and the accessibility to information. And like, dude, I remember being a younger kid and like going to Ecuador, and I have cousins there that are my age, and I remember thinking to myself like, yo, I can't like really talk about like what I like, or like I can't like show them who I am because they won't understand. Like even at a super young age, like, you know, just surfing the web, seeing like, I don't know, like listening to like hardcore where they're saying some pretty negative stuff, or just like listening to like rap music, like old stuff, you know, just like even like Mobb Deep that I know my cousins in Ecuador do not know about. And like the lyrics they're saying, or like how they look on the screen and stuff, like on the album cover, like they look all, you know, thugged out and with their own style and stuff, or like, you know, like watching State Your Name in these graph videos. And like I'm going to Ecuador, like my family is totally different, and I'm like, yo, I can't. It's not like I made a big deal out of it, but now when I'm looking back on it, I realize like at that age I was thinking like, no talking about none of this, ill filter, even though they're your age and they should be like, you know, young, like who gives a shit? They're not gonna understand.
Yeah,
dude, I told one of it was not my cousin, but we just called him my cousin, because he was cool and like didn't care about anything, or so I thought. I told him that I told him that I had written graph
Yeah.
and before, but he didn't understand what that was because in Ecuador there's not really a scene.
Yeah.
People are too busy, trying to survive than worried
Sure.
about like picking a name to write and writing it
And-
on the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like I told him that, and I realized immediately it was the wrong decision because like his eyes changed. He was like, dude, like that's on some actual gang shit. Like, because over there only like the straight up felons from prison do that, and it's like
Yeah.
gang graffiti
Yeah.
that you don't want. I'm like, no. It's not like mad people do this, and it's
Yeah.
completely not like that at all. And I could see that he couldn't like understand it all, and I'm like, dude, it's because they had less accessibility, I think, to all these crazy things, dude. Like you could go online and watch anything. You could watch like a dog, dude. You watch as a little kid, like you watch State Your Name, man. You're gonna be influenced so hard
For sure.
as a little
dude.
kid. Like
For sure.
you're gonna remember every single word,
Yeah, dude.
and that's
Like-
just on YouTube, or it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
I'm just using State Your Name as an example. There's so many things like because graffiti's not a big deal. There's things that are way worse that you could get hyped on. You could get mad hyped and think, yo, I need to do this, or
That's a big part of why these kids grow up so quick, because they have access to real life so quickly. Like
Yeah.
like when I was a kid, I didn't know what like murder, drugs, or anything was until like I reached an age where it was kind of like, all right, now you get to understand this.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like 6 years old and like know all this shit about everything now. Like, bro, it's insane. You grow up so quick. You have no childhood nowadays. No childhood.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Right?
I hope not, bro.
Or
I mean, but
you can hope. Yeah, but
have you ever thought about moving back to Indonesia?
for sure, dude.
Oh, you have?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely, dude. I want to get out of here.
Really?
You do.
At some point,
Sure.
yeah. Just cause, like, dude, it's summer all year. I can.
the hot concrete here isn't like
Dude.
meant for the soul.
Yeah, I mean, I can deal with summer. It's the winter that fucking gets old for me, dude. Like, I don't know. Before I came here, I never owned a coat or like boots or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's fucking. I gotta wear like 3 sweaters and a coat to leave my crib and like double socks.
Dude, it lasts for a while. I was thinking like
Nah.
the really warm months is like June, July, August, I guess September, and then it's clipped. That's such a short time.
Nah, bro, when it was warm
Yeah.
like the other day, like super warm, it was like 66. I was
Yeah,
like,
that was nice.
but I feel like have never felt this. Like I feel like it's been like I was like a little kid last time I felt it was warm out. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's also what's exciting about New York. If the vibe changes every season. The sun starts coming out, everybody gets loose.
What is it that, besides just the temperature, that would make you want to go back to Indonesia or even just move out of here in general to somewhere calmer? Or is it not the calm factor?
But I guess part of it is the calm factor, but also like, I have like a crib out there, dude. That's like home for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All my homies are still there. I've known a bunch of kids since like we were all babies. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it'd be nice to reconnect with that community at some point.
That's sick, man. Did you start cycling out there?
I started cycling in New York, actually. Just as a means to get around, dude.
Okay.
New York is so big.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a driver's license, so like I went to the bike shop and got myself a bike. Started lurking and shit, because,
How long ago was that?
oh, dude, fucking 10 years ago, maybe. But yeah, like the bike, dude, really kind of like just opened up like the places I could go and like how quick I could get there. Because if you're from New York, dude, taking a bus is a bitch. Nobody wants to take a bus anywhere, and taking the subway, it's all right, but like you're on subway time, you're not on your own time,
Yeah, you're right. The thing about the subway that I do like though is that I feel like I'm of the mindset that I thought about this recently, that like each opportunity or each situation presents an opportunity that is very unique to that situation. So for example, like this conversation that we're having, somewhere that we're maybe not noticing, there's like an opportunity presenting itself that if I was having a conversation with someone else, that same opportunity wouldn't be there. And I was thinking about that in terms of like commuting, because a lot of people, everyone in New York lives far away from everyone and everything somehow, some way. You always live far away. And everyone's always saying like the train is ass, which don't get me wrong, I fully understand. Like it really be getting really ass sometimes.
Yeah.
But like you could, it's like say your commute every day is like an hour and you're on it twice. That's like 2 hours that you could straight up like in 3-4 months of just doing one thing on that, like learn a language on that shit, or like read
a
mad
bunch of
books,
books,
or even if
yeah.
you don't like reading, listen to a bunch of podcasts. If you like, dude, you could do shit on there that otherwise that isn't accessible. Like if you're driving a car, or if you're riding a bike, or if you're walking, you can't do the same thing that you'd be able to do it. And I think that is kind of unique to like the train bus kind of thing. You know what I mean? Especially in New York, because you're on it for a solid chunk of time.
Yeah.
Which means like I don't want it to just be sitting there like refreshing my Instagram page that isn't loading because I'm on the I'm like hoping in between stations, like airplane mode on, airplane mode off. Let's get it. What's new?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the crazy way to live, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, you could do a bunch of shit in your downtime on the fucking subway. You can draw people.
Yep.
A bunch of people do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a little showtime.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever, dude. You can make it work.
But how? So did you get really, really into cycling?
Not like really, really into cycling. I'm into bikes, dude. I like bikes. But like really, like you can get geeky about anything.
Yeah.
You know, but I was geeky about bikes for a little bit, for sure.
What is like your commuter bike looking like?
I have like a cross bike right now. It's gravel road, you know, hybrid thing. Got a bunch of gears, you know. I had a track bike at one point, dude, and I had a pretty fucking sweet setup. But I was doing deliveries one day, and I took like 10 minutes, dude. I like locked my bike up. I went over to the park to like take a piss in the bathroom. I come back, dude. Both my wheels are gone in like less than 10 minutes, dude.
What kind of lock did you have?
My wheels, dude.
But you can lock. You said both of them were gone, which means you didn't lock the wheel and the frame to the pole.
I just locked my frame, dude.
Yeah.
I was taking a piss. I didn't think anybody was gonna come snatch my shit.
And your
quick.
lock was just attached to the frame, but that's why they didn't take the frame.
Yeah.
It's pretty bugged out, man.
Dude, and it like this person had to have a wrench, dude. It wasn't like a quick release.
And you gotta be when you're doing that too. If you're racking a bike, you need to be ready to bang, because the owner could be coming at any moment. He could be with people, and he is going to be tight when he sees you trying to steal his bike.
Was it broad day too?
Dude, it was like 1 p.m.
Oh,
dude.
you gotta be desperate.
Like, in the fucking afternoon. I had some nice wheels though, dude. I should have gotten some like fucking fancy fucking lock for my wheels, but.
Dude, you know that the bike theft thing is tied to like actual organized crime and like gangs and like real criminality and shit like that.
Oh, I'm sure there's a whole like
it is
bike fucking world,
black
dude.
market
shit. It isn't just like people who come through and say like cool and then go. Well, I mean that is partly a big part of it, but there also is like some real organized shit that goes down with it. I'm not too sure on what, but I was lurking on some forums and like on some New York Times article and reading about it, and I was like, dude, there's like little worlds everywhere. There's like whole little worlds everywhere.
Dude, absolutely. But like, yeah, dude, after that happened, I like gave up on my track bike. I was like, all right, dude, let me just get like a normal ass bike so nobody fucks with me.
I feel like,
go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, as time goes on, I feel the standards of bikes gets really high, like in terms of prices.
For sure.
Because we were just talking earlier, because I told him like I have a $300 bike, but it feels like a piece of shit now because a regular bike that is okay is like $500 minimum. But I feel like when I was a kid, like people had like little mongooses that were like they got from Toys R Us. Like nobody really cares if that shit gets stolen. You know, it's not that. I mean, you care as a kid, but the value of these bikes are completely different now. You know, they cost up to thousands of dollars. So that's
Absolutely,
like definitely a good business for a bike thief now. You know, like
because dude, unless you have like like three very specific locks, your lock is cuttable by like a $100 clipper that you can get at Home Depot. So it's like, dude, I buy this $100 and that's expensive for a clipper. I could get one for cheaper, but with like a heavy duty one, I cop one of these. Dude, I'll get one bike and make that shit back tenfold. Go get another one.
Yeah.
And like, dude, stealing bikes is gnarly. It's not a good practice. That shit is whack, man. Like, cause that's like you're stealing from it's not like you're racking from a Home Depot or you're taking. It's someone's actual shit that they paid for and like they use.
Yeah.
They use on that's mad whack.
It's like a connection behind the bike.
Yeah, that's whack.
Dude, absolutely. Dude, those wheels cost me like $600, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and I was so bummed out.
What'd you do with the frame?
I fucking had, to walk home with it.
You can't do nothing either.
You can't.
You can say like, if I find the dude, you're never gonna find the dude.
About it, dude.
Yeah.
You just gotta walk home in defeat.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. So did it have brakes on it or no?
No brakes.
No brakes. How was that riding with like no? It was fixed gear then.
Fixed gear, yeah.
You had like straps.
I had straps.
How was it riding with that?
It was nice, dude. I was comfortable. Yeah, man. I feel like it's fun riding fixed gear. You know, once you get the hang of it, you feel connected with your bike.
You never had like major eating shits?
Oh, dude, I've eaten shit for sure.
Nothing crazy though.
Nothing crazy, dude. One time I fucking rode down a hill that I thought I could like bomb down or like manage to like brake in time to turn, because it was like a hill coming down and then you're either making a left or a right, and there are cars parked. I just smashed into the car. I couldn't stop in time. You know, car alarm went off. People were like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah."
What happened? You got hurt or not really?
Nah, I didn't really hurt.
Nothing too crazy.
Nah.
Sick. Have you seen that dude Terry Berenston's videos?
Yeah, dude, that dude's wild. Bro, that dude is crazy.
Dude. So I recently found out about his videos. I was just lurking on YouTube. I get deep when I lurk online. I love in the internet. I think it's so sick how you can find anything you want, read anything about anything, like lurk so deep into the forums that you know so much shit about this little fringe activity. But and like I get hyped on reading little histories of like, this guy did this and he's the one who originated like this shoe and this shoe came from this shoe. Yeah. And I don't even care about this shoe, but for some reason that fact gets me so hyped. And especially if I see like an OG photo of that. Yeah. And it's like in reference to like pop culture at the time, it's over for me. Like I'm gonna be so hyped on that. Yeah. But like, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I'm looking online, and I somehow come across. You've seen his hotlines. And I see that the dude like the Crusher hotline, where he goes from like 45th, 47th Street to 4th Street in 5 minutes, in pure day traffic, and doesn't stop for shit. And you know he'll literally go through intersections where it's like, where like I don't know how he didn't stop. Like the cuts he'll do are crazy, and then through people. Yeah,
only like the slight whistle will save him.
Yeah, and like he does it in 5 minutes, and I'm like, bro, that's impressive, dude. And like, have you seen where he did it in Mexico City with Safa?
I'm not sure, maybe.
Bro, that's the craziest one. They go on the highway. Yeah. And they go on the highway.
I think I actually might have seen that one.
They go on the highway and it starts raining, and it's raining. He puts his both feet on the frame because he's going way too fast, and it's raining, and he's going in between cars, but like the cars are like he's going in between cars. Eventually, the cars go to standstill traffic. And he's going in between them. And since it's in Mexico City, there's people walking on the highway selling fruit. And he's going so fast that he physically cannot stop the bike but he doesn't want to. That's not his plan. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, this is so bugged out that he can. You never got into doing the crazy shit like that?
Nah, dude. I'm a little on the safer side. Yeah. But yeah, dude, biking in the rain sucks, bro. You can't see shit. Depending on how hard it's raining. Mm-hmm. You know, like. In Bali, dude, I'll take like my motorbike out and like drive around anywhere, But if your helmet doesn't have like a face guard and it's raining,
Yo, it hurts.
it hurts.
Yeah,
Dude,
they feel like needles
it
every single
sucks,
raindrop. Yeah.
and you can't see anything, dude.
Yeah.
Half the time you end up driving like this.
No, I have
You
a
know?
motorcycle too, and that's my main transportation thing. And yo, when it rains, if you're going over like 40, 50 miles an hour, yo, it feels like needles hitting your skin. You better not have like no bare skin showing, because it literally hurts.
It hurts, dude. Yeah.
It's insane.
You like cooking?
I love cooking, dude.
I saw your warm ups. I saw your warm ups, and I'm like,
I didn't cook most of those though.
oh, okay, because it did look like somewhat home prep, but like nicely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I love Indonesian food, bro. That's like one of the reasons I want to move back too. You know, it's like kind of hard to get here. There are a couple places in Queens, like Indonesian supermarkets. You can get spices and little like niche stuff, you know, like snacks. But
what do they mostly like consist of, like Indonesian dishes?
the Indonesian diet, dude, is like, I mean, like rice is their staple. You know, they have rice every day. But usually, to go with that, they'll have an assortment of vegetables or like a protein, like fish or meat, or you know, cooked in whatever spice, and it's usually rice, vegetables, and some type of protein.
So it's essentially like clean food, if you break it down.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like most people in Indonesia go shopping to the market every morning. Like people here go shopping for like 3 weeks. They'll fill up their fucking cart. They'll spend $400, buy a bunch of like shit to throw in the freezer, you know.
Some shit that lasts forever.
Yeah, like over there, dude, like people go to the market every morning, and whatever they get, they're cooking that day, and they're fucking eating all of it, and that's it. And then the next day they gotta go again.
Yeah, the food here is strange, because I feel like even when I was in Germany, when you open like the fridge, you could smell like different foods, like it's enhanced, like you can smell something's rotting or slightly whatever. Here I feel like when you open the fridge, everything just is like no smell. Everything's like kind of like perfect. It's very strange.
Everything's wrapped in plastic,
yeah,
dude.
it's strange.
And everything's got corn in it here, dude. Everything you can throw in the freezer and it'll be good in like 3 months.
Dude, a lot of things have corn. A lot of things have soy. Like more things that like bread has soy in it. Regular bread. And I feel like a lot of people think that you know, soy is like a kind of like a fringe group of food that you only eat if you're like hardcore vegan.
It's
or
like a substitute.
Nah, dude,
you know?
that shit isn't everything. And the thing is like the things that it's in, that like usually if you buy like let's say a block of soy, it's usually organic and non-GMO, because it's like a huge fear of like specifically soy being non-organic and non-GMO. But the one that's in the bread is straight up the shit that they feed to the pigs and to the chickens, and like douse with like a Windex bottle of Windex.
Dude, it's there's so much filler, you know, and that's kind of like, that's why a lot of people are unhealthy here, dude.
What about in Indonesia? Is it do they use like pesticides or GMOs, like to your knowledge?
Of course.
Sure,
They do everywhere.
They do everywhere.
That shit is clipped.
Just not to the extent they like do it here. You know? Yeah, dude, they have like big farms and stuff, and like they have all that stuff over there. It's just not as bad and as like mass produced as it is.
When's the last time you've been there?
I was back over there early 2020, like right before the pandemic happened. Yeah, about this time last year, actually. I was there for about a month, and I spent a week in Japan.
I was gonna ask you about that and how that was.
Dude. Like, you have to kind of take like a million flights to get there, or like take one long ass direct flight, which I don't really like doing that. So I split up my flights. I spent a week in Japan, which was really nice. It was my first time there. I was traveling alone. You know.
You went there alone?
That's
pretty sick, man.
I've never traveled
I've never traveled abroad alone. I go so deep when we go.
It's dude. I mean, like going with the homies is absolutely like fun, like for sure. But I feel like you're always negotiating on like what to do or when to do it or where to go. When you're by yourself, dude, you're like, I can do whatever the fuck I want, dude, whenever, like I don't have to stick with the group without, you know what I mean? But it was nice, dude. I walked like maybe like 30 miles a day, dude, out there just walking into town, exploring stuff.
You didn't bring a bike?
I didn't bring my bike to Japan, no. I just brought a backpack.
Mm-hmm.
But
And where'd you stay? You stayed at like, I know, dude, I heard they have like this hotel out there that's essentially like a capsule.
dude, I stayed in one of those, bro.
Oh, you did?
I stayed in one of those. My first 3 days there, I was only there for like 7 days. My first 3 days there, I checked myself into like a capsule hotel, and literally you go into a room, like the room's not so big, and they just, it's like a hallway, and it's like these capsules are stacked on top of each other, dude, and it's literally big enough for like, it's like smaller than a twin bed, but kind of long, and you get a curtain at the end of it. You can like close it.
So there's no wall?
There is a wall.
Like I'm saying, separating you from the outside world of the hallway or whatever, there's just a curtain?
There's just a curtain. Yeah.
It's pretty,
but
pretty bugged out.
But there's a wall between you and the other capsule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't sit up either, right?
No, hell no, you can't
What?
sit up, dude. So dude. I mean, I was only in there to like sleep.
Are there little like
Really?
compartments where you put your bag and stuff or no?
They give you like a locker room and keys for your locker and stuff, but that's in the separate
So what's
room.
is it straight up like wall, bed, wall?
Dude, it's like crawling into a bathtub if the bathtub had like a ceiling above it.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and
Sounds sick.
That
Yeah.
sounds rowdy. Like I can't do that for more than like I'll do it, but I don't know for like if I was like, I don't know, what is it, 3-4 days? I've never done something like that, so I can imagine that you start getting, like kind of claustrophobic. Like, bro, I can't move unless you're only unless you're just knocking out.
dude, I was just knocking out. I was like going to bed late and waking up early and making sure I had like the most time outside to explore. Like dude, who wants to be in a fucking capsule all day? I didn't go there for that. It just happened to be like what I could afford on that trip. But a nice thing about that trip, dude, I had a homie hit me up like 3 days in, and he was like, yo, what are you doing in Tokyo? I was like, I'm just traveling, man. Like, what's up with you?
He saw your graph, or he just saw your...
He saw my Instagram
Okay.
stories or whatever, and I was like, what's up, dude? I haven't spoken to you in like 3 years. He's like, dude, I live in Tokyo now. Like, come stay at my place, So that was like totally bugged out. I went over to his place, dude. He's like, damn, dude, if you had planned this better, like I would have taken off work and showed you a bunch of shit. But he gave me his bike, and he gave me a lock, and he gave me keys to his crib.
What?
So he lived a little bit outside of Tokyo, like maybe like a half hour out in this village called Saitama.
Okay.
It was like super industrial, super cool. But yeah, for like the 4 days after that, I was just like biking around his town, lurking, dude.
Where was the capsule that you stayed at? What part of Japan?
Ibisu.
Okay.
It's like, Ibisu is like a neighborhood over from Shibuya. Shibuya is like the really
Yeah, the
famous
Shibuya
one.
crossing and all that.
Yeah. Ibisu is like a 15-minute walk from there.
It's not bad.
It was really nice, man.
How much was the capsule?
I think it was like $35 a night. Maybe.
That's pretty good money.
It's
That's nothing.
It's like I didn't
Honestly, I wanted to hear some like $5 a night shit. I would have got mad hyped.
Dude, I wish, man. But it was like $35.
Cause like what you could probably find like a room Airbnb for like 100.
Yeah.
But 35 and 100 is pretty.
Yeah, because you could spend more nights.
Yeah, exactly.
Save money.
Yeah, I mean, I was there for 3 days, so I spent like $100 on the capsule for
It was
3
an
nights.
experience. You got to talk about
Yeah.
it here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't really the capsule place I was staying at. Like, you'd think there'd be like a bunch of tourists there,
Yeah.
but a lot of the people that like sleep in these capsule things are Japanese people,
That's
and a lot of them are like Japanese fucking businessmen who got like too drunk the night before, didn't make the last train home, and just needed a place to sleep
Like I'm gonna capsule it out.
before they go to work the next day. Yeah, dude, that's one thing about Japan I wasn't really crazy about. They shut down the subway at midnight, and if you want to go anywhere, you have to take a cab.
Dude, they do that in a lot of places.
What the fuck are doing it here?
Yeah, they're doing it here. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's going back to normal. Now
Yeah.
it's what 2 to 5. That's
slowly,
that's
like,
that's a 3-hour like in the cut of the night.
Yeah, but like, dude, taking cabs in Japan is like mad money. You don't want to do that.
They do that in London. They do that in Paris. I'm 99% sure they do that in Barcelona. They do that everywhere. Like I think that that's another thing that I always think about is like the New York transit system versus all the other ones. Because yeah, dude, the New York transit system is boned.
Yeah.
Dude, if you take that regularly, once a month, you are going to get taught the illest lesson by them. Like, you are going to sit on a train that doesn't move for the longest time. And, like,
Yep.
by sheer chance, 3 more things will go wrong, like, with your day. Like, in that day.
For sure.
And it will make you question, like, everything. But
yeah.
the thing is, it's like the New York transit system was the first one. It's been around for
like
way
the
longer.
oldest one,
And
yeah.
because it's also has way more stations than any other one anywhere else in any other city. And it has, like, it used to run 24/7, which none of the other ones did. But then it's like harder to do repairs because of that. But at the end of the day, I think all that's bullshit. I think that they just, they have if with bread, they'll fix that shit in fucking 2 months, man.
Of course, dude. You guys remember when, like, in the midst of the pandemic, they were like, yeah, the MTA is losing a bunch of money. They might have to shut down a bunch of lines or whatever and, like, reduce the service by, like, 40%. And then I think I was reading something in the New York Post last week about how, like, a bunch of lines are getting new train cars.
Bro, the
It's
MTA
Corniness.
it's also connected
Yeah.
to the tolls and the bridges. So like, there's no way they're losing money. Those bridges make so much money.
Yeah.
I wonder if if they
Imagine.
are losing money because, like, for example, the bridges make money, and in theory, it's not like whoever owns that bridge or however that works. I can imagine that there's one of 2 scenarios. Either A, they paid so much bread to make that bridge that they're still in debt from it.
No, there's no way.
That's one. Or 2, they somehow you don't just like own a bridge and now you're good forever. Like, they have to be paying some sort of crazy like tax to the higher ups or something. Dude, you don't just make a
to
bridge.
the military.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but it is super hard for me to understand how the MTA could be out of money. That does not make any sense to me. I don't know anything about anything, but
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense to me, dude. Like, I was lurching just on the Q50 bus, which is a pretty random bus. It's not like an M15 or nothing. It's the Q50. 4,000 something people take that a day. That's one bus, and it's one of probably the least popular buses.
And there are a million fucking
And there's a
buses.
million buses
Yeah.
that are way more populated, and there's a train line that every millisecond there's someone swiping 275 into that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, how could you not have money? And the tolls
And
now.
the
you're
cars,
saying.
unlimited cars, are like day and night. $20 of Verrazano for one car, bro. That's insane.
Damn.
But in my opinion, honestly, like the whole shutting down overnight, like I know they say they cleaned and stuff,
Cleaned
but
it,
I think a
yeah.
big part of it was to clean the homeless people off the
Homeless.
train.
Yeah.
I think that was a big thing about it, because it was getting crazy,
Yeah, dude. I mean, it still is crazy.
No,
dude.
but like they just move them, It's not like they just disappear into thin air.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a whole different fucking talk about the homeless people, dude. It's a problem,
Yeah, we were talking yesterday with one of the guests, and it was like, we were saying, what do you think the ratio is between empty apartments in New York and people who are homeless? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder.
Yeah.
especially now that a bunch of people have moved out. What did you do during when the lockdowns first started happening?
Dude, I was out of work for like 3 or 4 months, maybe. Um, I didn't do much, dude. I spent a bunch of time at my house. When I could, I'd ride my bike out just to get some air, but I wasn't doing anything crazy, I was waiting in line at the grocery store like everybody else, dude,
When it first started, what did you think of because no one really knew what it was. Like, am I kill you? Am I not kill you? Whatever.
I feel like nobody knows what it is
Yeah,
still or
yeah.
whatever, but I wasn't really tripping, dude. Like, I just did, like anything in life, dude, you just have to go through it. And the less you bitch about it, the easier it's going to be to get through.
Mm-hmm.
I've been lucky enough that, like, none of my direct family and friends have been, like, affected by it, dude. It's just such a weird disease, man. I don't know. It was a pretty boring year, I think, 2020, as far as
yeah. I mean, you're
my
stuck.
life.
You're stuck inside.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
most people are just completely stuck inside. Everything changes.
Yeah.
You can't travel.
Yeah, but New York kids took advantage.
Oh
Saw
yeah,
Bomb and
dude.
everything, dude.
Now they're not buffing anything. Dude,
Did
buff
you
is
hear
so
the
dead.
fucking?
Yeah, they
Then
want
s-
to.
yeah, somebody made an announcement.
Wait, what happened?
Somebody made an announcement about buffing everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I think it was like the mayor
some shit. Yeah.
or some councilman.
The funny thing with that is that they were asking for volunteers.
Oh, dude, I think I saw it. It was on the
Yeah.
news.
It was on the news.
Dude, I
yeah.
thought that was old.
No, dude, that's
Someone posted that on their story.
yeah.
I forget who, but I saw that today, and I was like, oh, that's funny. An old clip of them talking about buffing Graph.
No, dude, they're gonna start the buff this year, apparently.
Dude, do they know that? I mean, of course they know. You buff that
Yeah,
shit.
writers were
It's-
like,
It's about to be like,
It's gonna come back.
no shit.
Yeah.
Everyone's waiting. Do you know how many people? Like, I know so
Want
many heads
space.
who are like, I'm waiting for the buff. Like,
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, I don't know. Graph is like a never-ending thing. You know what I mean? It's just gonna cost the city a bunch of money, like that fucking program they had, the call 311, complain
Yeah.
about graffiti.
NYC graffiti free.
Yeah, graffiti free NYC or whatever.
Free, yeah.
They don't have money to fund that shit anymore, dude. That shit got like canceled.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I'm noticing.
yeah, dude, business
folks.
owners used to be able to call 311 and be like, "Hey, somebody painted my gate. Can
Yeah.
you, like, make an appointment to come buff it?" People can't do that anymore. That's why the city had to make this announcement to reach out to people to, like, work together with their community and clean it up for the spring or whatever they want to
Yeah, it's crazy because, yeah, like gates in my neighborhood that I'd never seen graffiti on ever. Like art. There's no
Smashed.
space on them now. And
Yeah.
it's funny because if I was a business owner, I'd be like, yo, I'm getting 2 cans of gray fucking
Yeah.
Zinzers
It's
and
not
like
hard.
Boston
Yeah.
Fat Cap, and I'm like cleaning this shit up right now. It's not that hard. It cost me like $12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never understood
Yeah.
the whole like, oh, he got caught painting his wall, $12,000 worth of damage. It's like, bro, buy a white, and that's, wow, what is it, $5? Boom.
See vans in my neighborhood with graph on
Yeah.
it from like fucking the 90s. I'm like, yo, this dude never thought about getting a white can.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, I mean, yeah, the numbers for like what graffiti costs to clean up and stuff is ridiculous. I don't know. I guess they got to pay people to clean it too if they're not cleaning it themselves.
exactly.
It's
you
like a whole
know?
salary thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was a business owner and like I had a store gate and I'm not dumb, someone's gonna hit it. Look at all the other gates ever, and they all get hit. I mean, of course, you'd have to be kind of like, you'd have to have a knowledge to do something like this. But I just get a really well-respected current writer or whoever I can get that somewhere falls along those lines. Do something on it. Do like a throwy, like a nice throwy or something, which like kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
But like, or like maybe a mural where like the throwy's in it or something that like majority of writers will not go over unless you don't know anything, and then that's it. I don't
Yeah.
worry about it until it gets dissed in like 10 years, and then like maybe I'll fix it myself.
Right.
I always thought about that. Like, for example, in the lower, like owning a business, let's say your gate got hit and then it gets buffed. Like, how many nights do you think it's gonna be clean in the lower? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Depends on the gate.
it's
If you
almost-
clean it often, it's gonna
Yeah.
maybe clean for a minute.
yeah. I
There's
don't know
gates that
about
people
now,
just
but
straight up do not hit because they're like guaranteed buff
stay on top of
Yeah.
it.
in,
Yeah.
in overnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. That's also one thing about New York, man. Like, just spot maintenance, dude. Like, because if you want to keep a spot for long, you're gonna have to like keep on top of the buff and stay on top of who's like trying to side bust you at what spot or like catching tags over your shit or whatever.
Is that what you go for? Like more longevity kind of spots?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I mean, like, it's exhausting, dude, to go out every night and like
Maintain. Yeah.
maintain. Yeah, dude. It's like, I mean, I have other shit going on in my life, But yeah, as far as spots go, like, I like hitting spots that'll last a little longer than usual, or like more cutty spots, Nothing super hot boy. Like, I like doing hot boy stuff sometimes, but it depends on how I'm feeling that night,
Who you're with, the type of night. shit
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure, for
What
sure.
do you think you get out of writing graffiti? You personally?
For me, dude, I like honestly just do it for me and my friends. If other people like it, cool. But graffiti's got like some type of bad allure that like is so attractive to like teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and that's kind of like what interested me, like through the whole subculture or whatever. But as far as what I get out of it, just satisfaction, like knowing I got away with something I wasn't supposed to do, and making it look decent at that. You know what I mean? Cause dude, there's a bunch of graph out there, and everybody's got their own opinion on what looks good and what doesn't. I just want my shit to look appealing at the end of the day, and if other people can get stoked off that, it's sick. But I'm just looking for the stoke. I'm just trying to get hype.
Dude. And with that, thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. It was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Peace. Samva.